Welcome to Just Ask Spirit. I'm Sherianna Boyle. Welcome to the show. I'm here with Carmen Turner-Schott. Hi, Carmen.
Hi.
This is a great day on Just Ask Spirit. I'm glad that you're joining us. We have some big things happening, which I'm going to tell you about in just a moment. First, I just want to remind all of our listeners that all of our shows are supported and sponsored by the Just Ask Spirit Marketplace. The Just Ask Spirit Marketplace you can find at sheriannaboyle.com. You can go there. You'll see my books. You'll see Carmen's books there. You'll see some products and services, and just know all of them support the show. So we're so grateful, and we hope that you take an opportunity to check that out. So today, this week, right? This is airing on May 1st, 2023. We've got some babies birthing, some book babies, right,
Yes.
Carmen?
Yes.
Yeah, some book babies. So we're going to show you, if you're watching on YouTube, Energy in Action and Moon
Signs, houses healing.
Yeah. Energy in Action is officially it's May 2nd. Tomorrow is its official birthday, but it's out there. Nice. Moon Signs, Houses and Healing.
May 8th.
May 8th. So they're
your Kindle paperback on Amazon now. It's ready.
They're 6 days apart.
Yes. Yes. This is our kickoff, our book kickoff. Party.
We'd have to look at their birth charts.
Yes.
So we're just all giddy and happy over here at Just Ask Spirit. And if you're new to the show, welcome. This is a show about spirituality and mental health. We blend the two. Carmen and I, by the way, everyone, we are both mental health practitioner. Carmen, tell them about your license.
Yeah, I'm a licensed clinical social worker and been working with trauma survivors and children and teens, since 1997.
Yeah. And so my roots were in school psychology. I worked in the schools. I worked in parent education for a long time. Again, 1990s. I started. We're kind of dating ourselves. And I'm a professor teacher of yoga and psychology. So I'm an adjunct psychology professor. So you just know a little bit about us, but we share a similar passion, and we absolutely love to write books, right, Carmen?
Yes.
Yeah. What's Moon Signs number?
This is my 8th book. I'll have my 9th book coming out in July, but this is my 9th book. And I love the moon, because the moon, in our life, everybody looks up at the sky and sees the moon, and we see the full moon and how beautiful it is. And it affects our emotional nature. It affects how we feel, affects our sleep. It affects everyone on earth is affected by the tides and cycles of the moon. Yeah. And so I wanted to write a book about each moon sign and kind of their personality traits, and give them tips to express their emotions, find fulfillment, find what you value. That's the moon sign, what you value, what brings you security and comfort. Where the sun sign's your main personality and identity, the moon is your inner nature. And so this book's all about that. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And so we're just asking, Carmen's been on here giving us our astrology update every month. You are a monthly co-host, I'll call you, on the show. You come on, and we're so grateful for your generosity. And so I just encourage everyone, this is when we as authors reach out to you and say, we would love your support for these books. Energy and Action is about, well, of course, it's about energy, but I'm going to read the subtitle, which is The Power of Emotions and Intuition to Cultivate Peace and Freedom. So Carmen, I wrote this book, this is my 10th book, everyone, although I have a feeling Carmen is going to she's going to leave me in the dust the way I am always amazed how many books she has. But I'm taking a little long hiatus here, but this is my 10th book, but the focus is on emotions, and I believe is the true route to true long lasting manifesting, because it's not really my concern, but I have seen it in myself and sometimes my clients, that sometimes we use manifesting as a way out. right?
Yeah.
Rather than a way in. And I believe it's a way in,
Yeah.
and we can go deep, we can reach
Yeah.
deeper levels within ourselves. So we don't want to override feeling to
Yeah.
get there. So in other words, I'm unhappy, I don't like my job, I don't like my situation, I want a better life. Therefore, I'm going to go manifest something. And that's sounds, oops, that's sorry,
Yeah.
it's my,
No
my,
worries. Mercury
that's
retrograde. So
I have apparently a dental appointment coming up. So it's great to want all those things, but the thing that you want to be mindful of is not just sweeping your emotions under the rug, and they're an actual resource for you, so you can obtain those desires that you have. What do you think about that, Carmen?
definitely, it's, like you said, we don't want to just cut off and not process our emotions, or, if we're unhappy or we feel stuck, there's a reason for it. And so, you can do manifestation, but if you don't get to the root of what is causing all of the emotions and feelings that you have, which is your moon sign, your moon sign ties into that, because it's how you react and respond to crisis and trauma and hurt and pain. Every moon sign has its strengths and weaknesses, and the biggest thing that, I talk about in the book is to make sure to feel everything that you're experiencing, and to try to put words to it through journaling, self-care tips, different things that can help you get in touch with your emotional nature and express it. Because some people don't like to express emotions because they feel it makes them vulnerable. And that's the moon. The moon makes us vulnerable. It's where we're vulnerable, because it's that part, that inner side of us, the deeper part that we don't let our coworkers or people in the world that we don't trust see. So I always say, if you really want to see someone's moon sign, get them to trust you, and that you're loyal to them. And then you'll see this other personality come out of people, because people just show you their sun sign mostly. And and then when you really get to know them, you'll get to see their moon sign. And that's a totally different ballgame, because that's how we show love, affection, how we let people know we care. And that's the moon. The moon is probably the most important thing in our chart. It's even more powerful than the sun sign. It's very strong. And we can see that when the full moon affects us, each month. And, last month we had the big new moon and solar eclipse in Aries, and, lots of intense energy in the month of April that everybody was feeling, and it affects us all. So I always love to do someone's whole chart so I can see where their moon is, not just their sun. But
yeah. So you can hear, between our two books, that emotions, we both believe, are so important. And I love the way you kind of help us to understand that in another way by looking at our moon signs. And I really hope that everyone gets your book, as well as mine. Mine is more about the spiritual laws. It's a guidance system, right? Because we all can react, right? And so anyway, we're just celebrating today. We also want to make sure that we give you the astrology report, right? Because Carmen's here, it's May 1st, and we don't want to skip on that. And so we're going to segue now into what is going on. So you were kind of giving us a recap of April. Did you want to wrap that up and then lead us into May?
So April was an intense month because we had a ton of Aries energy, which Aries is ruled by the planet Mars, which is aggression, drive, passion, change, newness. And so in the month of April, there's been a lot of people have major changes in their life, and they were either things that we had been resisting, like stagnant old energy that was building up, like we felt it, and it's all of a sudden, boom, 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 things happen, new jobs, relationships ended or started, and you saw things in a new way, and all this newness came, right? This excitement, this motivation. So the only thing that got us a little bit was the end of May, Mercury went retrograde. And
you mean the end of April?
I mean, the end of April, yes. Mercury went retrograde, and it's still affecting us now. So I think it was like April.
And I was going to say, because I have people ask me stuff now because you're on the show, so they think
Yeah,
I'm an
yeah.
expert. I'm like, people in my membership, they'll say, well, isn't it like, and I'm like, I'll ask Carmen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not an expert in that. So,
Yes.
okay. So the question, and because I run a membership community where I meet everybody and we actually cleanse, we go through the steps of an emotional detox, yeah, every week. So, but they did ask this week about something regarding you. They were like, am I already being affected by Mercury retrograde? Was the question.
Oh, yeah.
And we were trying to remember the dates that you said.
Yes. So,
And
yeah.
so can you feel it before those dates?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. We
Yeah.
call that the shadow or the storm period,
Okay.
which it happens about a week before it's officially retrograde. So in April, people would have been feeling it, the week of the 12th, let's see, about the 10th through the 14th, people would begin to start feeling that. And then the 21st is when it actually turned retrograde of April. And so it's a 4 to 6 week deal. So now that we're into the 1st of May, we're in Mercury retrograde right now. We're dead in it. And
so how do you feel about launching our books in Mercury retrograde, Carmen?
This is the only good thing. So this is the interesting thing about about Mercury retrograde.
Okay.
And I believe, and I'm telling you, this is like a science because it happens to me all the time. Anything that you've already been working on, mastering, editing, all of that, almost always it ends up manifesting and happening during Mercury retrograde. So the things you've started, which you already wrote this book, you've edited.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a year, right? It's almost a year before it comes out.
Yeah, it's been written. I'm working on the next one, right? At this point. Yeah.
Systems. And I learned all the, it doesn't publish till it's in all the publishing systems. It takes about a year or 10 months, whatever. But so we've already been doing that. So that's typically when things happen. Every time I've been offered a new job and the job has happened when Mercury was retrograde. That's when I got the job interview. Because I've been thinking about getting a new job right before retrograde.
I remember you and I were talking about it. You want a new job. Yeah.
And then every time in my life, even in the past, when I actually got the job and hey, we're offering it, has been during Mercury retrograde because it's a time when things come to fruition that we've been working on in the past, old projects, old lovers, old relationships, old friends contact you out of the blue and call you or text you. You're like, oh, wow, I haven't heard from them in years. Just happened to me this week. Someone I hadn't heard from in like 5 years texted me. Hey, how are you? So that is normal during Mercury retrograde.
Really? What is that? I don't understand. And I guess I'm getting a little confused too, because I always heard that you don't sign a contract, but what you're saying is if it was something started before Mercury retrograde, then it's okay to sign that contract and publish that book. Okay, that makes sense to me now. Does everybody get that? Okay, we can all take a breathe. But if it's
completion, it's completing the old energy that you already have been putting so much mental focus on, because Mercury's the mind. It's writing, it's communication. So anything with technology and communication kind of comes to play. Travel. So if you've been planning a trip and you knew you were going to travel during Mercury retrograde, you're not going to have as many problems with your trip as you will if when Mercury turns retrograde, you decide, okay, I'm going to go to Spain next week. That's you're in the retrograde and you didn't plan it beforehand. So there's more chance for travel delays or strange things happening right with your travel. And so I start researching this, with people and seeing it. And so the good news is don't worry. If you're gonna buy something this month or do something major, as long as it's already been kind of in your mind and you've already been thinking about it, already talking about it before the retrograde, it might be the time where it actually comes into manifestation. Like Mercury retrograde manifests things. That's exactly what it does, that we've already been pondering.
I've never heard that. Okay. So Mercury retrograde manifests things
Yeah.
we have already been pondering.
Yes.
Well, it's funny because I looked up the numerology for energy in action on the day that it's being
Yeah.
launched, and it was great. I mean, it was fantastic. I was like, woohoo, like positive, and it actually talked about good luck and things like that. No, did you look up the numerology for your lunch?
Not on this one, but
But
no,
you will.
yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
good. It's anything, it's interesting when even like when I found out I got the book contract. I had the idea before Mercury retrograde, but when it was retrograde is when I got offered the contract. So that's when, and it's a good thing because I'd already been planning the book, already been
Gotcha.
writing the book. So that's a lot of good things come to us and manifest during Mercury retrograde, and we kind of get answers. Like, am I going to get that job?
I have a better outlook on Mercury retrograde right now.
It is
I think
negative. It really is. It's both.
Now,
Yeah.
I do have a question, and I know we want to give the astrology report, but it just popped into my mind.
Yeah.
Okay. And the reason I'm asking this is it's Mercury retrograde. I am planning on so I have a daughter goes to Salem State in Massachusetts, which is, Salem, right?
Oh yeah,
So
my daughter was wanting to go there for a while.
yeah. So
wanting to go there. Yeah, but this was like
I'm going to visit her.
Nice.
And when I go there, sometimes we go get psychic readings, right? Just for fun, I just whoever, whatever. Should we not do that during Mercury retrograde? Does that throw off the reading? That's my question. Because sometimes you get readings and you're like, why did I do that? Like now I'm all messed up. I don't know. Curious about that.
Well, in my opinion, if it's something you already were planning before it went retrograde last month in April. If you already
it wasn't. No plan. Just no, it wasn't a plan.
You may not be as happy with it because it can be more difficult for people to connect with you. I'll say that it's harder for me to do astrology consults when Mercury's retrograde, or to talk with people in depth. Because I kind of feel like my mind is affected a little bit, how I can connect
with someone. I'm feeling. And that's what I asked. I was almost just feeling that, like, maybe that's not a good idea.
Energy
is activity. Yeah.
Yeah. Because anything you're going to deal with that has to do with people and communicating with someone can be impacted a little bit. It can be.
Yeah. So like you could even apply that to talking to a consult, getting a consult from someone. We have to keep in mind they're being affected.
They are too. And doctors, like, it's interesting, like this nerve thing happens. Like if you've been, putting off a surgery, or, you're supposed to, you've been putting off going to the dentist or whatever. So you got a dental alert, Mercury's retrograde, reminding you
which I canceled, by the way. I canceled, left them a message.
Like my doctor called me the other day, and I've been putting it off for 6 months, this ultrasound thing. And she called me herself and said, I want to do this next month. I'm like, oh man, and so, it's Mercury retrograde. I'm like, okay. So kind of, it's like, how do I say this? Cleaning up and being closing the book on some things. That's how I say it. There's things you're going to close the book on. It's all gonna come to fruition during Mercury retrograde, and that's what's going to happen in this.
So not a time to start something new, but if you started it before, that's fine. And there's a good chance it could be manifesting during Mercury retrograde. And as long as you started it before, you're fine if you want to sign a contract, blah, blah, blah. Right.
And anything you're thinking about right now is okay to think about and just, maybe ponder, but don't take action on it. Don't, put money to do anything. But by the next retrograde, you'll usually see things come to fruition. And you're like, wow, that's weird, because, last retrograde, I was thinking about that, and now this is happening, or I'm doing it, or I got this new job, or, and I do see that a lot. It's like it helps you move forward from the old energy, outdated energy. It's clearing out, and it's making you turn inward to, ponder, your life and your feelings and your thoughts and what's going on with you. Mercury retrograde makes us feel a little bit more introverted.
Introverted. Okay.
Yeah, it makes
Well,
you turn inward. Yeah, and it's good.
which
It's
is
okay. Yeah,
which we all need to do at some point.
Yeah.
So, wow, this is wonderful. We need to take a quick break, everyone. If you're just joining, it's Just As Spirit. I'm here with Carmen Turner-Schott, and it's our book release week. Babies are being born, book babies. Yay. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back to Just As Spirit. Today, this week, it's May 1st, where this is being launched. Today is book launch. Well, this week is book launch week for Carmen Turner-Schott and I. Yay, we have our book babies up. Birth, we've got Carmen, say your book.
Moon signs, houses, and healing, gain emotional resilience and strength through astrology.
Yes, and mine's energy and action, the power of emotions and intuition to cultivate a life of peace and freedom. Similar, but very different, right? So also, but just very empowering all together. And so before the break, Carmen was talking about Mercury retrograde because it is your astrology update for May. And Carmen is here to support us through this time. So what else do we need to know?
So the big things is Mercury is going to be retrograde until May 14, but you'll still be feeling the effects the week after, because we call that the shadow period. So, probably by, let's see, I'd say by May 29th, we'll be out of the shadow period. Okay. So
my birthday is this month.
I know, Taurus.
Another, yeah.
This will be good. Well, so this, and we'll talk about that. The sun, the sun is in Taurus this month. So I was going to talk about that. But today, May 1st, there's a major thing that happened. We have Pluto went retrograde today, is going retrograde May 1st in the sign of Aquarius. And it's going to be retrograde until October 11. So it's going to be affecting us for several months. And what this means is strong, intense, powerful emotions will be influencing us during this time. So what Pluto does is it pulls things up that need to be healed, and it brings forth awareness of secrets and things that have been hidden from us. And this is going to be affecting the whole world. So media, public figures, everyone is going to be affected by Pluto retrograde. And that means it's spinning backwards, and it means that it's going to be a relook and a reemergence of past hurt, past issues that we haven't.
As long as they don't act them out, Carmen. I mean, I'm okay with that. It's the acting out thing.
Unpleasant feelings. There's going to be a lot of unpleasant feelings.
There's going to be some acting.
There could be some revolution, some people, whatever has been repressed is going to be shook up, and people might try to avoid feeling it and try to control it. But Pluto's so powerful of an energy, it may affect what people do, and it's going to affect I think large groups of people. I mean, we saw what was going on in France with the uprising about the retirement age and all of this stuff, and Pluto and Aquarius is when the French Revolution happened, and then you saw things happening in France, and there's a revolution. They're demonstrating. So all of this is kind of a societal.
You're saying that sometimes these things are necessary. It digs everything up because some things need to change, growth and change. Got it. Okay.
Pluto's about growth and transformation and rebirth, and so it's a healing. It's going to, in the end, we're going to be stronger for whatever energies we have to go through and that we see going on in the world. And then just make sure to take care of yourself. A lot of people lost loved ones the past year or so, and that was because of the Taurus Scorpio nodes, which are still going on right now, and it's still happening. And so just make sure to grieve and let yourself feel what, that's the moon, let yourself feel what comes up, and don't beat yourself up. I mean, it's normal to have memories or a song or think, well, I thought I was over that. It's not about being over anything. Just, you're a human. Let yourself feel and let the memories come. And I'm recommending journaling. This is a good time to journal and do things for self-care, things that you love, things that make you happy, because the energy might be a little heavy. And especially because we left Aries energy, which was real in April, which was real active and like I can do anything in the world. And we switched into Taurus energy because the sun is now in Taurus, which is all about being grounded and practical and stable and cozy and comfortable and not liking change. Okay, Tauruses like things the way they are. Okay, unless there's a reason they need to change it. It needs to make sense. Okay, it needs to make sense. And so this month is a very earthy energy, May, because the sun moved out of Aries on April 20 last month, and now it's in Taurus. And so we have that Taurus energy that's helping us get more grounded. We just kind of felt like we were running a marathon in April. Go, 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 all this energy and excitement and a little bit of unsteady, a lot of change and just feeling a little unsettled. And now we feel a little bit calmer, a little bit more peaceful and grounded because the sun is in the sign of Taurus in the sky. And we're all feeling that. And this is a good thing. And then you're a Taurus sun. So you're going to really be feeling good the month of May.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah. And I was just thinking about so in energy in action, there's 52 practices and they're light practices. So I'm really a big fan of taking in what it's kind of like nourishment. That's what I'm hearing you say. Make sure you replenish, you nourish yourself. That's always what I do to nourish myself. I'm always open to learning more. I know the moon, in your book, you talk about how to nourish yourself, but that's what I hear when you say, and in terms of, I feel like a revolution can happen on the inside. I don't know what you think, but I know, yes, we can, there's things that need to be changed, many, many things.
Yes.
And we do need to stand up and get our power back. But I don't want to dismiss the fact that we can make incredible changes by the work we do within. I know what you think, but that's sort of I have like an inner revolution going on.
That's exactly, that's Scorpio energy. See, Pluto rules the sign Scorpio, and in Scorpio, 8th house in our astrology chart is all about that inner transformation, emotional rebirth. It's like shedding the old you and becoming a whole new person and feeling like a whole new person. Regeneration of the soul, mind, body, spirit. All that is definitely Pluto energy and 8th house energy. And I believe your moon is in Scorpio, if I remember right, when I looked at your chart.
I know, you just said that and reminded me of it. So that's a Scorpio thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Fire.
Yes. And you're
Scorpio fire. What's that?
Well, Scorpio's water, but
water. That's
right. They're powerful because Pluto's their ruler. Pluto, the planet of healing and transformation and rebirth and death and destruction and power. All those things rule Pluto. And that's why Scorpio sun and moon people have a very powerful emotional nature, very powerful feelings and strong emotions and deep. They feel things deep. And you're going to be feeling really good on May 5th coming up because the full moon and lunar eclipse are in Scorpio, your moon sign.
Ooh.
Okay.
So what am I supposed to do? So when you're feeling good because things are lined up, what do you just enjoy it?
Just enjoy it. Yeah, just enjoy it. Most people don't really feel good when the moon is in Scorpio. I'll tell you that. They feel on edge a little bit because it's so deep and mystical and like makes you feel things, and if you don't like feeling things, then you're going to be like, oh, what is going on? And so this is a very intuitive time. Everyone is going to feel more intuitive, being able to tap into your psychic abilities. You may dream something, pay attention to your dreams during this full moon and this lunar eclipse. It's going to be very powerful because we talked about the nodes in Taurus and Scorpio. This full moon is going to act as a catalyst. This is the word I wrote down in capitals, like a catalyst, and its energy is all about cutting ties and moving forward in life. And that's what it's about. And the signs that are most affected by this full moon and this lunar eclipse are going to be Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius, which are all the fixed signs. They're the fixed signs in astrology. Okay. They're going to be influenced very greatly by this full moon, more so than other people. And it's a time to heal, transform old patterns. It's like cutting the ties and letting
Cut the
past
ties,
go.
baby. Cut the ties.
Like move forward emotionally, like you said, not just outwardly, but
Yeah.
inwardly. And
Yeah.
I feel this is happening. I've been feeling it, coming, and I know that I have a lot of change coming in my own life, and I was resisting it for several months, and now I'm like, let it happen. I'm ready. Boom,
Yeah.
I'm done.
I know.
And
You've made some big changes in your life.
yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just, and it was the time, what it's meant to be. So whatever you lose, you may feel like you're losing something, but you're going to gain something. Or if you may,
that was my quote that not too long
yeah,
ago. I said, whenever you lose something, you gain something.
yeah,
I did a whole like YouTube thing on that.
that's good.
Yeah. I do
Yeah.
believe that when you lose something, you gain something. And I know can be tough to hear if you're thinking of it in terms of loss of a loved one. You're like, what the hell does that mean? But
Yeah.
in terms of shedding, I think that's what we mean, right? Shedding.
Yeah. And and what I just thought of was somebody I know, they lost a loved one, but then there was a birth. There was also a birth in the family, like right after that. So that's Scorpio Pluto energy right there. Death and birth, life and death, it's like, it's positive and yin yang, right? And the thing is, any kind of stuck energy, you know what I mean? That you feel stuck like in mud. And it's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to feel better. I don't know how to snap out of my rut kind of energy. This full moon lunar eclipse, Scorpio, is going to clear it out and invigorate you. And it's time for closure once and for all, people. If there's something you've been holding the string on and letting the cord, whatever the energy cord still suck you, get a sword out. This is what I did. I did this in my meditation. And it was a person, a relationship, okay, that I knew that had been hurting.
Did you get like the Archangel Michael's sword, or
I just imagine them stand in front of me. I wish them all the health and happiness.
Yes, you want to send love, please.
I send love and blessing, but you will not impact me or affect my energy or life anymore. And I'm going to release you. And then I cut that. I see myself with the sword like the warrior. And then I cut the cord, and then I just gently see them go and float away in light. And then I'm done. And that helps me. It's like an imaginative thing, but it's like a manifestation. It gets you in the routine.
It frees you. You don't need to keep repeating this. You don't have to go back into the cycle. You don't need to repeat the same lessons. Like, we're complete now. Thank you. And as long as you do it with love and light, I always tell my girls that. I'm like, don't ever do it because the spiritual laws, which I write about, teach us that what we put out, we get back, right? And I know you know about that too. So we want to always do it with love and light, not animosity and anger and all of that. And we can make big changes. We have about 2 more minutes, Carmen. So anything you want to highlight before our
let me make sure. So just the biggest thing is, we have a May 19, we have a new moon in Taurus. So you're going to be liking that too. It's a good time for Tauruses. It's all going to be about craving stability, accepting who we are, nurturing ourselves, our money, our finances, our needs, our self-worth, focusing on our, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Our safety and security needs are going to be highlighted at, about mid-month. We're going to be, thinking more about, our food, our housing, our money, just being a little bit more practical and cautious with things. So, we're going to be feeling that. And it's a time to manifest what are our needs, what things do we need? What do we really need versus want? Right. That's kind of the energy of the May 19th new moon in Taurus. And then May 20, Mars moves into Leo. And this is some bold energy that's going to make us feel excitement, creativity, affection, passion towards our goals and self-expression and doing the things we love to do. We're going to really be motivated to work hard to do those Leo kind of things, which is being on stage, expressing ourselves, doing art, music, creativity, writing, whatever we want, it's going to kind of bolster those things. And you're going to be more affectionate and want to have fun and be more social. Maybe want to go out and do some things, go to a concert, go out to eat with your friends. And that's the kind of energy, going on this month. I mean, those are the key highlights. There's other things going on, but those are the key ones that I kind of highlighted. But
well, they can also read your book to learn more about all of this and to understand and get some information about themselves, right? Thank you so much, Carmen. I'm so happy to share this day with you. I wouldn't have anybody else I would want to share this day with. I really appreciate you and all you do for Just Ask Spirit. Once again, everyone, it's our launch day. We're holding up our books. We're also on YouTube. You can find our books at Just Ask Spirit Marketplace, which is SheriannaBoyle.com. You have a YouTube channel, Carmen.
Yes.
What is that?
It's Carmen Turner-Schott, SCHOTT. Just put Carmen Turner-Schott in. My website's www.carmenturnerschott, SCHOTT. And I have my books on there as well. And love for you to follow our YouTube channels, and our Facebook pages and our Instas. We're out there, both of us, and we link and post our stuff.
Absolutely. So thank you so much. We're going to take a quick break. I am going to come back with some final thoughts and end the show. So I hope that you come back after the break. Be right back, everyone. Thanks, Carmen.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Just Ask Spirit. Thanks so much for returning back to the show. And as we've mentioned, today is a very special day, May 1st, 2023. It's actually a very special week of the launches of the book. So I thought I would end the show with a little reading from my new book, Energy and Action: The Power of Emotions and Intuition to Cultivate Peace and Freedom. So I'm opening the book here, and it's called Dear Reader. Dear Reader, there are two things I think you ought to know about the spiritual laws of the universe. The first is they are a guidance system for moving energy. The second is once the energy is in motion within you, they reflect you in your purest and highest form. This is the state you want to manifest from. To understand, think of it like this. If you want to get better reception on your phone or computer, then you would be inclined to move to a location with a stronger signal. And if that did not work, you might purchase a device to amplify your reception. And this is similar to how the laws of the universe work. They raise your vibration, boosting your energetic signal. I'm wondering whether to keep going here. I'll read one more line, two more lines. Yet, up until now, many of the teachings around manifesting have been focused on changing your thoughts. And while choosing to manifest in this way is not wrong or bad, it can feel much like having a weak signal. And at some point, you may wonder if the universe is hearing you at all. So that is the first 3 paragraphs of my latest book, Energy and Action. And I just want to say thank you in advance to all of you that choose to support and purchase the book. And if you like it, or if you want to provide honest feedback, please leave a review on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or wherever you purchase, because reviews help the book get seen out there in the world. And the book is filled with light. And my intention is to bring as much light to this planet. I think we could all use it right now, a big dose of high vibrational light. And when you get the book, you will see what I mean. Thank you so much for listening in to Just Ask Spirit. Remember, your emotions matter. Processing them matters more. Take care.